Good morning. This is Hired Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Last Saturday of the year, right? Yeah. I never know the day. What do I know? We're just live here in studio. In fact, I want to thank you all. This has been a great year, 2025. We knocked it out of the park this last quarter. Next year, Hired Done is going nationwide. I'm excited for it. We are going to be in every market around the country as we build this machine for the best home improvement advice anywhere. That's right. Because I'm every homeowner's best friend. My name's Adam Helfman. You may have heard of me. You may have not. You may have tuned in. You may have not. But today, let's pretend like it's the first time. So who am I? Well, I'm a guy, single, in my 50s. I just happen to be a savant when it comes to home improvement. In fact, I teach homeowners how to fix, repair, or remodel everything within the four corners of your lot. It's not a do-it-yourself show, my friends. However, I want you to know that I'm not anti-do-it-yourself. I am pro-do-it-for-me. And what does that mean? I want you to know that when it's time to hire a contractor, it's time for you to know the questions to ask and to know how to get a contractor to do good work, communicate well, and not rip you off. So it's what we'll call simply hassle-free home improvement. That's what we do here at Hire It Done. And that's the brand I created over 20 years ago. 96% of all contractors fail in the first 5 years. Most businesses too. Guess what? I'm in year 21. Oh, I'm legal now. How about them apples? Anyways, today's show and moving forward is dedicated to Harley Rocks. It's a project that a friend of mine started in memory of their son, Harley Rockheim. Amazing kid. Amazing. Just beyond amazing. So with that being said, we want to let you know that we're all here to send positive energy out in the universe, healing vibes, whatever it takes to make you happy. Let's get out of 2025 and move into 2026 with a clear, concise direction. Aim for this, but if you end up over here or over there, it's okay. But just fail forward. That's it. Enough of the euphemisms and this and that. But I want you to know that this show is here to help you find contractors. Now, today, we don't have a guest. Today's all about the content. It's all about the questions to ask a contractor for you so that if you're going to do a deck on your house, you're going to remodel your basement, you're going to do a kitchen, a bath, maybe some siding, maybe a roof, maybe plumbing, electrical, heating, and cooling. You see, at Hire It Done, we cover A to Z. That's right. So anything within the four corners of your lot. That's what we want to help you with. That's how we're going to help you find the right contractors. And of course, everyone out there, Hire It Done is a great companion website. Visit hireitdone.com. We have a brand new website that's kicking butt. Our traffic, everything's crazy. We've added some AI techniques and some good things, and wait till you see the roadmap for Hire It Done in 2026. Like, we're really going to kick some ass. And I just want you to know, hey, it's going to be great. So, and don't forget, you can always text us if you have a question for Hire It Done. The text line is 248-927-1985. Again, 248-927-1985. Text me. Let me know you're listening. I'll give you a shout out because, of course, on Hire It Done, every Saturday is Shout Out Saturday. So if you're a contractor and you want to shout out, if you're the Sterling Grill and you're making breakfast for everyone, shout out to my boys over there. Thank you. Today's also Salt Sale Saturday. Don't forget Beauchamp Water Treatment Solution. He's the king of water. And they have water softener salt on sale every Saturday. And we, of course, it's what we do here at Hire It Done. But today we're going to specifically talk about hiring contractors, getting good contractors. What do you do if there's a problem? How do you call referrals? When you're getting it in writing, I'm going to cover everything. Oh, I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I don't know what it is, but it's so good. But it has to be from Dunkin' Donuts. It can't be like from a machine. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just neurotic like that. My whole thing is neurosis, but that's just how I am, a nutty job guy. Anyways, I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. And, this is what we're going to do. So let's get right to it, okay? First of all, shout out to Camber, future co-host in New Jersey, listening this morning. Yes, that's how we do. This is how we do it, right? Anyways, I want y'all to have some fun. So let's talk about it. You're thinking of doing some projects. You saved up money, and this year you said, honey, we're going to remodel the house. That's our Christmas gift to each other. Okay, great idea. So where do you start? What is the protocol? What is the right way to find a contractor? What are the questions you want to ask? How do you go about this process? Because listen, we all know hiring a contractor can create a lot of anxiety, like truly a lot of anxiety. And if you don't surround yourself with the right people or find the right contractor, you're in a lot of trouble. Now, one of my specialties at Hire It Done is learning how to identify, or I have learned how to identify a good contractor. So I do the homework for you. I did a lot of the background work. If you go to hireitdone.com, we have Haynes drain cleaning. We have Waterworks. Simmons & Co., great design build company. We have the amazing, great Brian Lee, Metro Home Improvement. We have Evernew, Dana Installation. There's like a ton. Running Right Heating Cooling. Voltron Power, Josh Young. If you want electrical. I mean, it doesn't end. And the best part about it is these are good contractors. So let's talk about when you're hiring a contractor and what you got to do. Okay. So we'll take the typical contractor. Now let's take a typical job. Let's say for next year, you want to do a kitchen addition. That way you got cabinets, you got an addition, maybe a deck outside the addition, maybe a patio, maybe some concrete. Shout out to Jason Russell, JR Concrete. Anyways, so what are you going to do? You're going to start gathering names. You're going to go online. You're going to Google, right? You're going to ask friends. And hopefully, you're going to hire it done. And you're going to visit hireitdone.com. That's what I want to do. I want to help you, right? So what does that mean? Like, what does it mean for you, a homeowner, trying to find a contractor? Well, let's use the kitchen addition as an example. So now you know you need to find a contractor who knows kitchens. You need to find a contractor who knows room additions, kitchens, additions, cabinets, right? Siding, brick, all that's all the thing. Now, if you're the type of person who wants to do it all yourself and subcontract it, that's for another discussion. But for today, my friends, what I want to do is I want you to concentrate on one of the questions asked. So let's find out how we're going to do that. So number one, you're going to call some friends. Hey, I'm going to get a room addition. You know, your friends all get a room addition in the past. They invite you over, right? Hey, come on over for dinner. We got our new addition. And you're looking around and you're like, oh, this is cool. This kitchen is great. Oh my God, look at all the space. Wow. That's pretty cool. Who's your contractor? Oh yeah, you know, we use Metro Home Improvement. Okay, great. Can I get their name? Sure. Let me go on Google. Kitchen designers near me, room additions near me. I'm going to go to Pinterest, right? I'm going to go to Angie's List. There's 1,000 places to find contractors. There's the Valpak. So where do you go? Where do you find contractors that you can trust? Well, here's the secret, my friends. There's no such thing as a crystal ball. As much as I wish I had one, there isn't. So what do? You do the right thing and you find out who are the contractors in your area that are the most used. And you have to make some phone calls. It costs you a little bit of time. Now, I will give you the secret. We'll go right to the end. Which will bring you right to the beginning. The end is just visit hireitdone.com and I'll find you the contractors. And that way you have hassle-free home improvement. It reduces, by the way, hireitdone.com reduces your risk of getting good contractors. Now, don't forget, if you have a question this morning, 248-927-1985. What I want to make sure you know is that you can always infuse Adam Helfman. That's me. Adam@hireitdone.com. Email me. Text me 248-927-1985. We have so many ways to get you answers and contractors. I help you personally. But my whole point is, if you don't have Hire It Done, what do? Valpak? go to your friends, referrals. Well, let's just say you find the name of a contractor and you're on TikTok, you're on Facebook, and someone says, look at our new deal. So you call the contractor. First thing you do is you call them. And, hi, I'm thinking about putting an addition on my house. Now, first impressions matter. So whoever answers the phone in the contractor's office is important. Do they have an answering person? Do they have a voicemail? Today's contractors are very stealthy, right? It doesn't mean you're a great contractor if somebody just answers the phone and says, hi, thanks for calling XYZ Contracting. How can I help you? Sometimes the best contractor is the guy who's on the job site. He's out there every day running around, and he cuts his overhead a little bit lower, and he identifies times throughout the day to make return calls. That's a good contractor, but that doesn't make him bad. If the competitor has someone answering the phones, hey, good morning, XYZ Home Improvement. How can I help you? It's a great day at XYZ. That's a good thing if they have a person answering it. Doesn't make them better. The key here is what makes a great contractor is one thing and one thing only. Okay, and everything revolves around the one thing. And the one thing for everyone here, my friends, is communication. Let's just make it what it is, right? We want you all to know communication with your contractor is important. And that's what we want to make sure we do. So as long as you can communicate with your contractor, then we don't have an issue with that. And the contractor needs to communicate. That's why we at Hire It Done find contractors that are solution-minded, that communicate, and that work with you to get things done the way you need it done. So with that being said, what else is there? Well, I'm going to give you a few things to talk about. So when you're with a contractor and you're on the phone, first call only, just say to them, hey, I'm thinking about getting a room addition. I'm not sure when I want to start the project, but we're gathering information now. Be honest with the contractor on the phone. Tell them that. And they can react one or two ways. They're like, great, I'm glad you called me now so we can literally craft you the best project for your budget, Mrs. Homeowner. That's one way. The next one is someone could be like, hey, well, call me back when you know exactly what you want and I'll come over. I don't know if I love that, but doesn't mean the contractor's bad. Okay. The right thing to do is for a person on the phone to say, you know, Mrs. Jones, congratulations. Putting a big room addition on your house, kitchen addition is what we'll call a great investment in your home. And in order to do that, you have to plan properly. And we're glad you called us early because we want to help you in the planning process. That's the best part. Proper planning. If you plant the seeds of success of your foundation for a great job, at the end of the job, you'll have a better job. Trust me when I tell you, I've been doing this over 30 years. It's a long time. Woo. I was born and raised in this business, by the way, folks. So this is all about the first phone call. On the call, think about it. Before anyone's come to your home, you're like, listen, I'm thinking of doing this. I'm thinking of doing that. And I want you to know that I'm planning on doing this addition, but I need help crafting it. A good contractor will say to you, let me come to your house, let me measure up, and let's create a roadmap together. Let's put the roadmap together on a process and a project that makes sense. We're going to take a quick break, friends, okay? And what my plan is when I come back is to give you more questions to ask the contractor on the phone when they're at your house and before you make the big deal. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF, everything that rocks. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, we are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitter. Where else we're live? Oh, we're live on LinkedIn too. So if you want to watch the studio, make fun of what I'm wearing today, you can, because I've been watching the comments. People are. It's all good. I'm that guy who fights back though. It's just one of my things. I can't help myself. I get written up in radio when I do crazy stuff. But anyways, shout out to Ron Alexander, Shelby Mechanical, good friend of the Hire It Done crew. And by the way, it's a great Saturday, the last Saturday of the year. We are live in studio because that's my commitment to you, homeowners. And by the way, we are nationwide next year in 2026. We'll start off in 5 markets by end of first quarter, and then second quarter we're supposed to be in like 17 markets. That's the roadmap. But if you have a market that you want us in, and you feel like home improvement works for you, give us a call or text us or email us. First, the text in studio is 248-927-1985. Again, 248-927-1985. Text us or Adam at hireitdone.com. Just visit hireitdone.com. You can click on Ask Adam, and I'll help you, and I'll talk to you. I'm the guy. I get back to everyone. Anyways, we're talking about questions to ask contractors before you bring them in your house. So you're on the phone with the client. With the contractor, potential, and you're asking questions. Now, the communication that they have with you is a couple things. One, they want to do intake. They want to know your name. They want to know where you are. Now, a more thorough, there's 2 schools of thought here. When you call a contractor and somebody answers the phone immediately, either it's a receptionist or someone gathering information, they're going to ask you some questions. They're going to be like, okay, Mrs. Jones, thank you for calling us. This is how I would do it. And hopefully you'll have a similar experience. Hi, Mrs. Jones. Thanks for calling Hire It Done Contracting. I'd love to help you. What can I do for you today? Well, you're thinking about, hi, I'm thinking about doing a kitchen addition. Oh my God, a kitchen addition? We do the best kitchen additions. I would love to help you on that. Okay, great. So here's the questions a good contractor is going to ask you. So can I ask you a question, Mrs. Jones? Sure. How long have you been in your house? Oh, we've been there 3 years. Perfect. You plan on staying long? Yeah, we don't want to go anywhere. I'm coming out of this house in a pine box. Oh, so you're going for the long term. Good. How long have you been planning on your addition? Well, our friends just got a kitchen, and my wife's been hocking me and chonicking me for getting an addition. And I think, you know what? I'd rather move than improve. Okay, great. Sounds like a great idea. In your area, Mrs. Jones, what city are you living in? Oh, yeah, you're in Birmingham. Oh, yeah, well, every dollar you spend in Birmingham, you get 3 back. So whatever you do, no problem. We wish it was that easy, but it's not. Anyways, the key here is they're going to ask you certain questions. How long have you been thinking about it? Is this something you want to do this year? What are some of your goals? This is questions before they even come out. Now, there are other contractors who say, Mrs. Jones, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like you to put away an hour and a half of your own time. And I'd like to come to your house. I'd like to take a look at the space in person. I'd like to talk to you about what your uses are going to be for it, what your goals are. And let's talk about timelines, and let's talk about the right way to do this. Can I come over this week? What's your schedule like? And, or it could be like, we're really busy, but I'll make time for you about 2 weeks out. Is that something okay with you as a homeowner? The best thing is over the phone, give information, but in person, give information. Both are equally as good. It depends on how the follow-up or the follow-through of the contractor is. Now, once you invite them into your home, there's a different agenda. Now, you've invited the contractor into your home because you now feel like the questions they ask and the first impression you have with them is friendly, and the referrals are like, yeah, this is a good company. Now, when you invite a contractor into your home, certain conditions you need to make and you need to create. Number one, tell the contractor before they come, say, listen, we're gathering data right now. I want to let you know there's very highly unlikely we're going to make a decision to move forward immediately. So I want you to know that we're serious. However, we're not making a decision today. That way, you've told the contractor that he's going to invest his time in you, and he's not sure that he's going to get a job out of this immediately. But once you meet with him and there's chemistry, it's like dating. You have to decide whether or not this is someone you want to jump in bed with, right? Because it's like a short-term relationship. So now they come to your house. Before they come to your house, though, I'm giving you some advice. Be prepared to answer hard questions. And what's a hard question? Mrs. Jones, look, you have a beautiful home. You've been living here X amount of years. You want to get a room addition. You don't know what things cost. However, in your mind, in the back of your head, I can tell you have a number. You have an idea what it costs. And I would like to know if you're thinking about any kind of budget. Now, let me say this, homeowners and all the contractors who are listening. Did I spill on myself? Oh no, sorry. I got a fuzzy on my pink hoodie. I'm wearing a pink hoodie today. You can make fun of me, everybody. I don't care. It's a nice hoodie. I might say so myself. So here's the deal. You should think of a budget. Should you tell the contractor? Don't tell them the budget. Contractors, don't get mad at me for saying that. But here's how, as a contractor who's sharp and experienced, gets it out of you. So here's how this goes. And this is what it should happen in your first meeting with a contractor. Contractors say, all right, Mrs. Jones, show me the space. Show me what you're thinking. Give me your perfect idea of the kitchen addition. The ultimate kitchen addition. Show it to me. Tell me it. Describe it to me. In the description, any decent contractor, any contractor with a brain, any contractor that I recommend is going to be able to listen to you, ask you a few questions, and is going to be able to say to you, ready, my friends? Simply going to say this. It's going to say, Mrs. Jones, based on the kitchen you just described to me, okay, with granite tops, quartz island, shaker cabinets, sub-zero appliances, stainless steel, gas cooktop. And we're getting rid of that dining room. We're putting in a breakfast nook. We're expanding out to the kitchen. And guess what? Based on what you said, that type of project is going to run anywhere between $80,000 and $120,000. That's how a contractor tells you, the homeowner, what the budget should be. You, the homeowner, have a budget in your head. You don't have to tell them that, because a good contractor is going to tell you. Now, here's the best part about this. As a contractor, when I tell you, all right, Mrs. Jones, $80,000 to $120,000 for your kitchen addition, I already know that you're only going to remember the $80,000 number, not the $120,000. That's how it is in reality. That's the real world, friends. Homeowners remember the lower price. It's just nature. It's just science. But as a contractor with experience, 3 generations, okay? Actually, I'm a 4th generation contractor, but 3, how would I say, 3 decades of experience. I know when I give you the 80 to 120 price, I already know you're only going to remember the $80,000 price. But I'm not going to give you that price unless I can do it for that. Think about it. I'm going to throw out 2 numbers to you, and I'm going to say, based on what you just described to me, I can do your kitchen addition for $80,000 to $120,000. 248-927-1985. Text me if you have a question this morning. We're live in studio, taking live text messages as well. Love to answer it, but we're talking about contractors and homeowners in the meeting and getting out the budget, extracting a budget out of a homeowner. So now that I say to you, Mrs. Homeowner, it's about $80,000 to $120,000 to do your kitchen addition, the next statements is very crucial, extremely crucial. Think about it. Whoever speaks next, after I say, Mrs. Homeowner, based on what you described to me, your kitchen should cost about $80,000 to $120,000 to create the dream that you want. That's it. I'm going to be silent after that. Zip, 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 zip. You, as a homeowner, need to look and nod. And then you need to be honest and answer the contractor. And you can answer one of 2 ways. First answer is, okay, it's about close to what I was thinking. Or the second answer is, wow, Mr. Contractor, that's more than I wanted. That's more than I want to spend. Those are the 2 answers. You can give 17 different versions of that answer, but those are the 2 general answers. So as the contractor now, and this is where Brian Lee comes in, and the ones that have so much experience, they're going to look back at you and say, okay, you know what, Mrs. Jones, I appreciate you being honest with me. Tell me, this is my first time meeting you. I'm first time in your space. Tell me, what were you thinking? Now, the contractor needs to ask that because he needs to shut up now, zip his lips, zip, 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 because you need to be honest with him and say, you know what? I was thinking 60 grand all in, appliances and everything. And contractor be like, you know what? I understand how you can come from that, but there's no way that a company with my quality, my communication, and my attention to detail will be able to come close to that budget unless we cut back and do the following things. Now, I can design something, maybe a smaller addition, maybe the kitchen, we can shoot for that. But to be honest, Mrs. Jones, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get you where you want to be. At that point, both you and the contractor need to decide together what happens next. No harm, no foul. Remember, contractor's doing this estimate for you, coming out and investing his time for you based on the if come. He knows there's other competitors. He knows there's other contractors. He knows that he has to perform. He has to show you, and the dog and pony show, and show you how great he is because he wants you to hire him. So this is where the evolution comes in. Now you as a homeowner need to be honest and say, okay, you know what, Mr. Contractor, I understand. Let's talk about doing what I want and see if there's ways to save money. And that way you can talk it through. Now, if he gave you a price of 120 and 80,000 to 120 and you were thinking 150, imagine if you were to say to the contractor up front, yeah, I think I have a $150,000 budget. And he in his head was thinking, oh, I'll get this beauty. I'll give him gold plated everything for 120. Now all of a sudden you're at 150. Do you think as a homeowner, he's going to be like, cha-ching, oh my God, I'm going to now make an extra 30,000. I'm going to jam this homeowner? No. Contractors that are honest don't think that way. However, that's why it's important for you as a homeowner and the contractors who are listening also to be honest with each other. Start out honestly. That's the big deal. Honesty works. Okay. So now that you've invited him to your home and you've had this meeting, what happens next? Well, you can execute a designer contract, maybe pay him to do the designs and actually get the blueprints. Or you can say, give me a breakdown, give me a comprehensive quote, and I'd like to review it. Now, that's where the next steps come in. And this is where the key is communication. The nucleus of all home improvement is communication. And by the way, if you're a contractor out there and listening right now, it's important for you to know that Hire It Done is adding new contractors in 2026. We have openings in concrete. I have openings in kitchens and baths. I have openings in brick pavers. In fact, if you're a landscaper, we need great landscapers, okay? If you're a granite company and you want to grow your business, porcelain, granite, we've got you. Okay. Not only do we've got you, but we've got business for you. I got people coming to my website on a regular basis saying, hey, Adam, who do you have for brick pavers? Hey, Adam, who do you have for landscaping, concrete? We are really, really getting a lot of requests. And by the way, I understand why, because I give great advice. I want to give you hassle-free home improvement. My advice is just so that you, the homeowner, can have a good contractor. Why should you work your butt off, earning all that money, and then you hire a contractor, you give him a deposit, and he screws the job up and he says to you, well, you're going to have to pay to fix that. You're going to have to pay to do this. Oh, that wasn't enough. I didn't charge you for that. And the next thing you know, you get nickel and dimed. Oi, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Excuse me. So communication is the lifeline of that. And if you're a contractor looking to grow your business, come get a hold of me. Go to hireitdone.com, click on Ask Adam, Contact Adam, AI Adam. There's so much going on my website. It's crazy. In fact, next year, you're going to be able to take a picture of your project, and I'm going to be able to respond with an estimate on what it'll cost you. Whoa, creepy AI. But guess what? We're going to turn that around and make the homeowner win. Why? Because let my pre-screen contractors compete for your business, and I want homeowners to win. As my throat gets a little crafty. So communication is the key. Now, once you decide on hiring a contractor, what other questions should you ask before you really give him the question? Not the question, give him the contract or give him the down payment. Because we're going to talk about payment schedules in a minute. What is the payment schedule? What is the questions you need to ask before you give him money? Okay, so he comes back with the proposal. Okay, Now, you got to remember, he's come over to your house, spent an hour and a half with you, minimum. He's then gone back to his office and put together a proposal. That proposal could take 2 to 4 to 6 hours. You don't know. Depends on how comprehensive it is. But now the contractor's invested. You, as a homeowner, are invested as well because you're probably getting 2 other quotes. Most homeowners are getting three bids. Now, we'll be talking about the 3-bid myth this year. Should you get 3 bids? Should you get 2 bids? Should you get 5, 6, 7 bids? Don't be wasting my time, homie. We don't play that. So the key here is he comes with the proposal and he spends some time. What I want you to do is be respectful, because a lot of contractors will say, listen, I have the proposal, and you're going to be like, okay, just email it, I'll review it. He spent the time putting it together. You should respect him, invite him back to your home and let him present to you in person. And at that point, when he comes back with that proposal, if you're comfortable with this contractor, I'm telling you ahead of time, before the pricing, before the everything, before I give you the next level of questions, it's okay to say yes. It's okay to get started. If you like the contractor and he's from Hire It Done, you can say yes without getting 40 other quotes. Now, he gives you the proposal. I'm telling you right now, and for contractors who are doing proposals next year, the proposal should be a roadmap. It should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. What does that mean for a kitchen addition? You're getting a kitchen addition. What kind of beginning, middle, and end roadmap are you talking about, Hire It Done? What is this? It's simple. The beginning is, here's Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner's kitchen. Plans, permits, demolition. That's the beginning. After demolition, right? It's rough framing. Or let's say there's an addition, right? We said addition. So there's foundation, excavation, concrete footings, slab or framing, rough framing. And then you've got rough plumbing, rough electrical, rough heating, cooling. All of that needs to get done as you build. And then you're ordering cabinets. It's expensive. It's a big, big orchestra that needs to be, how would I say, choreographed properly. And the right contractor is going to be the one doing it. Now, how much money do you pay on a contract like that? When you give the contractor the go-ahead, are you ready to give the go-ahead? Or what are the other questions to ask before you give the go-ahead? Well, let's do that. Right now, he gives you the roadmap. And Hire It Done's sage advice, and I'm going to say this now, and by the way, contractors didn't like me saying this in the air, but I'm saying it anyways because I stand by it. I'm every homeowner's best friend. Remember that. Here's the deal. Get the proposal and then hand it back to him after you get it. He's in front of you. You know, Mr. Contractor, I looked at the proposal. I get it. But my friend Adam Helfman, yes, blame me. It's okay. My friend Adam Helfman says, here's the proposal back. Please include in this proposal everything not included. Now, there are contractors like Brian Lee or Veronica Simmons & Co. that, Metro Home Improvement, those companies, they're like the benchmark. They already know to put what's not included. They put it in there. Exclusions, specifically not included. Homeowner supplied materials. Oh, okay. The other contractors don't do that. So if you're that person, as I get uncomfortable in my chair, what I want you to know is, why am I asking you to have him put everything not included in the writing? Here's why, my friends. And by the way, if you have a question, text us in studio, 248-927-1985. The other question is, why are you asking for things that aren't included? Because it creates a thought process. It changes the mindset quickly of the contractor. It makes him think, oh, let me think about this. And it puts it in his head, okay, what's not included? Well, what's not included is anything I don't see. I don't have x-ray vision. So if there's rotted wood, if there's rotted lumber, if something behind the scenes is rotted, there's going to be extras. Number one. Number two, if the city comes out and makes an inspection and says, oh, you better do this. I want extra framing and I want blah, 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 blah. A lot of times the city will screw up a project. They think, oh, we're here to help the homeowner. They are. And by the way, not most cities are good, but there are some that the guy comes out and he's just a big douche. So what do? Well, those are called extras, change orders, right? What if the homeowner says, you know what? I want to do a corner, lopped off the corner here on an angle, and you've already done it. Any change is a change. So what's not included is things like that. What if the homeowner says, oh, I thought you were painting. You don't paint? No, Mrs. Homeowner, everyone can find a painter. We take it right to ready for paint. That's how we finish our jobs. Okay, so paint's excluded. It should say that, my friends. It should say that. So what happens after that? Well, at that point, then you have to go over the payment schedule. Okay? Because look at the contractor, Simmons & Co., Metro Home Improvement, and Brian Lee and I have a really long relationship, so I'm going to use Brian as an example. Metro Home Improvement. It doesn't say Metro Savings. It doesn't say Metro Bank. It doesn't say Metro Savings and Loan or Metro Financing. It's Metro Home Improvement, the Metro Group, right? So what am I telling you? I'm telling you that he's not the bank. You're the bank. It's the golden rule. He's building the addition in the kitchen off of your money. Now, if you're going with a bank loan and he signs on to get draws from the bank loan, then that changes the whole narrative. But you're the bank. So you're in charge of the payment schedules. Now, he is not financing your job, so you have to pay him as the job goes. One of the specialties at Hire Done is I help homeowners write payment schedules. I'll help you divide the payments up so you're not giving him 50% down on the whole job, and then he never shows up, and then you're out. That's a big oy We don't want that. So how am I going to help you? Well, it's real simple. Let's use the $120,000 kitchen addition, okay? $120,000. How do you pay for that? Well, when you sign the contract with the contractor and you're ready to move forward, you need to give them a deposit. How much deposit do you give? 10%, 5%, 20%, 50%? No. Here's what you do. You get 10% deposit. That's it. I'm signing this contract, Mr. Metro Home Improvement. It's $120,000 contract. I'm giving you $12,000. Here's your deposit. What does the $12,000 do? That shows the contractor how serious you are. That's not enough money for him to order cabinets. It's not enough money to do anything. But it's enough money for this contractor to get the job set up in his system. It's enough money to have all the blueprints drawn up, his permit administration, and getting all his trades lined up. Okay? Now, he's going to apply for a permit. Okay? The next payment, and you're going to put a payment schedule together. The next payment will be due upon demolition. Permit will be ready. Permit gets done, let's just say on Monday. You pick it up Tuesday, Wednesday. Homeowner, you say to him, look, normally I get money on a permit, but we're going to do next payment upon demolition. You call Miss Dig, and demolition gets ready to go by the following week. That's when the first check is ready. We're going to talk about the rest of the payment schedule, my friends, and how to get the contractor you want without getting burned when we come back. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF, everything that rocks. Welcome back, everyone. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We're talking about questions to ask contractors, getting the job set up, the payment schedule. This is where we're at on the payment schedule. Remember, the contractor's not the bank. The homeowner has the golden rule because it's the gold that rules. So remember, homeowners, when you're doing a payment schedule with a contractor, he's not the bank. So he's not financing your job. So you have to pay him as the project progresses. However, we don't want you to overpay either. So that's why I said 10% deposit on a $120,000 kitchen addition. You get 10% down. That's a $12,000 deposit to get the plans and permits ready. Once permits are ready, the next payment should be upon start of demo. Now, at that payment should be like a 20%. Okay. That will allow. So what's 20% of 120,000? Let's do this. 12% or 10% was a $12,000 deposit. So you've already paid him 12,000. Got to keep that money here. That's getting permits and getting things set up. Demo day came. He's already paid for the permits. He's already paid for stuff. Demo day is where you pay him 20%. What's 120,000 times 20%? That's $24,000. So now you have to have a check for $24,000 waiting for him when the demo crew shows up. So now he's got $24,000 of your money and he's demoing the job. In certain additions, in certain situations, it may not be demo. It may be digging of the footings. It may be pouring footings, delivery of lumber. But again, the first payment is starting the job and then demo or footings, 20%. So you've now paid him $24,000 plus 12 is $36,000 on a $120,000 project. But there's work progressing. He's been paid $36,000. He's got cash flow. That allows the momentum. Now, let's talk about communication, because this is where it gets exciting. Homeowners communicate with their contractor. You need to have the conversation with the contractor about communication. And this is where this program Live Switch comes in. AI, Builder Trend, Company Cam. Most contractors don't use technology like this yet, keyword yet, because they communicate here, text me, call me, and it works. However, the newer generation of contractor clients, Gen Y, Gen Z, not the Gen Xers. We love Gen Xers. My point is, they're used to not having people come to their house. They're used to being private. They want to text you yes or no, right? So documenting and having this communication is important. But making sure that you communicate with the contractor on a regular basis is super critical. How much is too much? I say to the contractor, I'd like to talk to you every day. Is that a problem, Mr. Contractor? Nope. I'll talk to you every day. No problem. Okay, great. Because contractor, I want to make sure that we talk daily. Now, contractors, when you say you say yes to everything, right? Tell the homeowners, like, Mrs. Jones, look, I treat you like a priority. But no, I also want you to know, Mrs. Homeowner, I got a couple other contract homeowners. Everyone is equal. But if I'm with Mrs. Jones and you're Mrs. Smith and you have a question for me, I'm not going to stop my meeting with Mrs. Jones to answer your question. What I'll do is I'll take note. I'll finish with Mrs. Jones. And then you, Mrs. Smith, I'll get right to. And I would expect you, when I'm talking to you, if I got a call from the other homeowner asking questions, I would wait. I would have that other homeowner wait till I was off with you. You're my priority at the time I'm talking to you. It's that simple. So let's make sure that we all agree. And the reason why I say communication is so important is because if the homeowner's not happy, they're going to tell you. If there's something that's not sure of, they're going to tell you. And as a contractor, you need to be the leader, not the follower, not the guy just saying, okay, tell me what to do next, Mrs. Homer. No, you're the leader. Mrs. Jones, thanks for the check. Here's what's going to happen today. Here's what's going to happen tomorrow. And by the way, because of the weather, we may not be here for 2 days. I would rather a contractor tell me they're not coming for a few days than not answer my call, not answer my texts. This is key, okay? It's just that important. And it's important for you as homeowners to know that there are days where you don't hear anything. There are days where you're not happy. There are days we have anxiety. But remember, we're attached at the hip. Now, the assumption is you have a professional contractor. If you got some dummy contractor who you were, oh, well, he did my friend's house. He's not licensed, but he does a little bit of everything. And I like the work. But come on, are you serious? You're taking that risk. When you use a hired done contractor or someone that's licensed, insured, that has experience, you've reduced your risk. And here's the best part. I always throw this out there. And I know Brian Lee from Metro Home Improvement. There's a lot of contractors. Veronica Simmons, Renovations by Design, Tom Inger. There's so many guys. Italy American. There's some good contractors out there. But they'll all know this. At the end of the day, if you have a problem and you're frustrated, you can always reach out to me, Adam at hireitdone.com. In fact, if you have a contractor that you're not happy with and he's not a hired done contractor, I'm not going to jam him up. I'm not going to look for things to jam the guy up and how to screw him. I don't do that. I am solution minded. I am the guy with the experience that understands homeowners and understands contractor better than anybody out there. I say that with confidence, not cockiness. And the reason why I say this is because I want to help you, the homeowner, have a successful, hassle-free home improvement. You can be inside, you can be outside. You can do all that. Okay? You could be Angie. I don't care. You're not Adam. You're not a fourth-generation home improvement expert. You're not a guy who started a brand that beats everybody. Did you know 96% of all businesses fail in the first 5 years? Even I've been fooled. I backed a roofing company, and the concept was great. But, when you have no integrity and you have a connish attitude, it's very difficult to back something like that. So you have to slowly back away, and you have to help the friends that you brought into this business get out of it with their shirt on their back. And there'll be a story to tell soon. It's coming. Trust me, nothing can stop what's coming. But here at Hire It Done, we focus on what we want to do. We focus on you, the homeowner, getting hassle-free home improvement. No con men, no unethics, no stealing from other accounts to make payroll. We don't do that here. Okay? Just ask Brian Lee. He knows. Okay? There are plenty of people that know. And I know. And if you know, you'll know. Anyways, my point is how much do you pay? So now that you've paid, what if you have a problem? That's the next level of communication with the contractor. Mr. Contractor, how do I handle when I'm not happy? What's the best way? You ask him that. And here's why I say this to you, okay? I'm telling you to ask him this because it's better to talk about it. It's like when you have a girlfriend and you're in that mating first, oh, we love each other. I can't stop thinking about her. Right? Well, what about when you have your first fight? World is so easy to get out of everything, right? Before Google, you'd stick it out. Marriages were like, you hate each other this month, but in about a week, you love each other again, right? In the real world, you can Google how to fire your contractor. You can Google, we're done. I'm going to find something better. FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Well, when you're messing with your house, just get the right contractor. Make sure you have the conversation. What happens if we're not happy, Mr. Contractor? Make sure you put it in writing. Say, listen, how do you have a dispute resolution? How do you resolve disputes? There are some contractors who say, look, I'm not going to resolve this. I'm going to court. I'm hiring my lawyer's putting liens. Then there's contractors or there's homeowners who are lawyers, or his brother's a lawyer, and they start writing things out, texting. I demand the schedule for the next 7 days. And if you're not here in 5 days, we're going to put the money in escrow and blah, 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 blah. Well, in order for the homeowner to get that way, as a contractor, you better think, what did I do to deserve this? How did I get here? How did this happen? That's why it's always good to have that conversation before lawyers get involved. Nobody wins when there's litigation. We live in a litigious society, friends. Avoid it at all costs. And that's why you have that conversation with the contractor. Hey, I don't want to fight. I don't want a lawyer. I don't want to have to spend the money on a lawyer because at the end of the day, even if I win, I don't win. I got to pay. So let's just get the best contract possible. And homeowners, you can always ask me for advice. I'm here to help.
Right. So how many...
Well, my producer wants to ask me a question. Yeah.
How many homeowners have contacted you for your help because they were non-confrontational with their contractor?
Yeah, there's a lot of homeowners that don't have backbones, and that's okay because they don't want to fight. I'll help you. Sometimes it's easier to, I don't want to say hide behind me, but to heed my advice and figure out how to solve this without everyone getting crazy. Because look out of 10 problems on a project, it used to be 7 were contract related, 3 were homeowner related. That's about 20 years ago. Today, 6 out of 10 projects that have problems, it's the homeowner's fault. 4 out of 10 projects that have a problem, it's the contractor's fault. And I'm talking about professionals. Think about that statistic. It's changed. Why has it changed? It's changed because Google. It's changed because HGTV remodeled the house in 30 minutes and made you think, oh my God, this is so easy. I can get it done. I YouTube tile. I know how to tile. I watched it on YouTube. Are you kidding me? I've been doing this 3+ decades. And from the neck down, I am worth minimum wage. And from the chin up, I'm Gucci. That's right. You heard it, folks. And so I want to help you as a homeowner find the right contractors. That's why Hire It Done exists. That's why it's hassle-free home improvement. That's why my brand finds contractors. We pre-screen them. We check their license, check their insurance. We look at the work. We do background checks. We call and see if they pay their bills. Don't you want to know all that? But you don't want to ask those questions. Let Hire It Done run them through the ringer. Brian Lee survived. Victoria Simmons, she survived. Tom Inger, Italy America, Moose, Jeff Sargent, Tom Mackey, Dana Insulation. He'll show you how to blow some insulation out. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of contractors out there. And by the way, if you're a contractor listening, I love contractors. I speak the language. I love doing contractor work. I've got Haynes Drains, Nelson Haynes, Acme. They're the best. I got them doing a big project for me this coming week. I cannot wait. In fact, Roberto, I want you there. We're going to do some video. They're going to be blowing out some drains. We have a collapsed sewer line, and they're going to fix it all. It's going to be so good. I can't even wait. But anyways, here's my point. Visit hireitdone.com. Always ask Adam anything. I'm here to help you, the homeowner, because I'm every homeowner's best friend. But I want to say this. Thank you very much for listening to my show. I'm grateful. The gratuity runs deep. 2026, Hire It Done will be everywhere. You'll see me on TV. You'll see me on every radio station. We are going across the country. I am the new Angie. Remember that. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great year and Happy New Year.